Hello everyone, welcome back or welcome to the channel if you're new here. Today we are on part 2 of my Newcrest apartment renovation, and we are building an apartment for 2 students who are going to university, and we are building a slightly more eclectic student apartment today. Now, like I said, this is part 2 of my Newcrest apartment renovation series, I guess. Kind of like a mini series in the series of rebuilding Newcrest. And if you didn't see part 1, that was basically me doing the artist studio that we have across the hall, and it's kind of a complete like 180 of what this apartment is. As you can see, we're using kind of like brighter colors in this build, or apartment I guess I should say, and that apartment was a lot darker. And if you're interested in seeing that, I will do my best to link the card up in the corner for you. So feel free to check that out after watching this video. But yeah, this build is a lot more bright, a lot more bubbly, and I'm using the term eclectic, I think, for the name of this video, but I think it fits the vibe of that word, I guess. But as you may have seen, I kind of did like a basic outline for the kitchen. I used the refrigerator from Cottage Living, and then these cabinets or counters I should say, from Dream Home Decorator, and then those stools are from the Love Struck expansion pack. And then I use a base game microwave, I believe, or it might come with City Living, but I'm not entirely sure. But now we are working on the living space. As you can see, this is a little bit of a smaller size, as you can probably tell from the length of this video. This is not very long, but I really like these like cozy little spaces, and honestly I've never really done a build like this in this style before, like with all these different types of colors. I kind of went for like a yellow, pink, and like blue, or maybe it's turquoise or cyan. I'll just call it blue so I don't confuse myself. But yeah, this like yellow, pink, and blue color scheme for this like living and kitchen area. I really like how it turns out. It's like super bubbly and bright, and I feel like it fits the Sims who would live here really well. Now, as you might have heard earlier, I built this for 2 students who are probably going to either Foxbury or Brightchester. I did imagine them to be in high school, or not high school, university. And you know, I was thinking like maybe they're like best friends who have always wanted to live together. Like they probably like grew up together, went to elementary and high school together, and now they finally get to go to college together and live together. So I thought that was really cute, a really fun idea. But yeah, anyways, I kind of have the outline for the living area now. Here I am adding like a few more things to the kitchen, because I felt like, you know, I had the basic outline, but it didn't completely, you know, add everything that I wanted to. So I put a stove, or not stove, a what's it called? Oven. And then I was debating on putting like a, you know, stovetop as well, but I ended up doing it in the end because, you know, I know like in like the university housing, it's not like, you're not really allowed to have stoves. Like you can only have like a microwave and like a few other items. I think you have like a pressure cooker if you have for rent and other things like that. But you know, I decided like we're not in university housing. These girls probably paid to live here, so I decided to give them, you know, all the amenities that should come with an apartment. But yeah, I added this nice little record player. I feel like that was very fitting for the people, or the girls who would be living here. I did imagine it was like 2 girl best friends, and yeah, I added like this bookcase in the like entry area that we got from growing together. And I used this nice little like industrial light that came in this yellow swatch from the industrial loft kit. I thought that fit pretty well. And then I also decided to add this piano, which you might be like thinking that's a little bit too much, but I was thinking, you know, one of the girls is probably really into music, and then the other is probably really into sports. So I thought it fit either way. But now I'm trying to figure out like a rug for this little like, not really a hallway area, but like this little walkway area that's in between the kitchen and like the small little hallway we have in this corner. And I use this one from Base Game. And then, oh, also if you're wondering where that piano is from, it's from Growing Together as well. And then I put this nice little like wall painting that we got from Seasons. And I'm trying to figure out what to put in this corner. I think I just put a regular old plant, but I'm not entirely sure because I have already moved on to the next apartment in this build. Like that's what I'm currently working on, so this build is like completely out of my mind right now. But I'm trying to remember so that I can give you guys some decent commentary on this build. But anyway, I want to talk a little bit more about what I've been watching recently because, as you may have known, if you watch my previous videos, I always talk about what I'm watching. It's kind of a, like, guilty pleasure, I guess, of just letting you guys know what I have been up to recently, because I've been watching a lot of movies recently. But anyways, recently I've been into the movies. Like, I've been watching a couple Studio Ghibli films, which aren't necessarily something I do often, but I do love just like the vibe of them and like the overall messaging and themes they have in their movies. But the movie that I am talking about is The Boy and the Heron, which is a movie I've honestly been wanting to watch for a really long time, just because I've seen a lot of good reviews from like people on Twitter and, you know, like some trusted reviewers that I think have really good taste. And let me just say right now, that movie did not disappoint. Like, I almost cried. It was such a cute and like meaningful film. Like, it was just, it's so good. I cannot sing my praises enough about it. I highly recommend that you guys should be should go watch it. I think it's on, I watched it on Max, which I almost called HBO Max, but it used to be HBO Max, so I'm gonna call it HBO Max anyway. But it was on Max, and it was, you know, just a really good movie to watch. Yeah, I almost cried, so just prepare yourself if you know, are like sensitive to like really just like thought-provoking and I don't know, like deep movies. It's not too deep, you know, it's like animation, or I think it's anime, or I don't really know. But it's Studio Ghibli, so it's in that, you know, art style. But, you know, I really enjoyed it, highly recommend. And the movie I decided to watch after that, since I was in like a Studio Ghibli type of mood, was The Secret World of Arrietty, which is a little bit of an older film. I think it came out in like 2010, 2011. I think it even has like different release dates for like the country it was released in, and I think it might have came out in the US in like 2012, but yeah, I'm really, it's one of like my favorite movies. I didn't know that it was a Studio Ghibli film until like a couple years ago, honestly, but I used to see like trailers and previews for it all the time, and I was watching Disney Channel because they had like a couple Disney Channel stars dub the English version, and yeah, I just really, that's such like a comfort film to me. It's really nostalgic whenever I watch it. It's about like a how do I describe this? It's about like a little people who live under a house, and you know, they say they borrow things, but girl, they really just be stealing. Like they be taking what they need, but they really don't take that much. You know, they'll take like a cube of sugar and like, you know, a little bit of like tissue paper. It's really nothing harmful, but it's really cute, really fun, a little bit sad at the end, but I also really love that film. So watching The Boy and the Heron really inspired me to go back to that movie. So, and I think I've only seen like one other Studio Ghibli film apart from those two, and it was Spirited Away, and that was also a really good film. But I didn't watch that recently. That was like a few months ago that I watched that. But that is what I have been watching. Of course, I'm still watching True Blood, one of my favorite TV shows of all time, with my sister. I think we're all the way on season 3, almost season 4. And season 3 is kind of a good season. It makes me hate some of the characters more, and then like some of my characters are really going through it, so that makes me just want to cry. But yeah, that is pretty much what I've been watching recently. The link to my letterbox and Serialize will be in the description down below, in case you guys want to see like updates about what I've been watching, or if you're just interested about what my thoughts are about what I've been watching. But anyways, let me talk a little bit more about what I am doing now. So I pretty much rambled over the entirety of me like decorating the living area and the like area next to the, what's it called, piano. You may have noticed that I used the little love seat that we got from Nifty Knitting, and then as a accent chair I decided to use like this sectional chair, but I used it as like as the living chair version of from Dream Home Decorator. So And then I also just finished the bathroom, and then I used the shower that we got, or the shower tub combo, I should say, that we got from the Parenthood game pack, I believe. And then I just used the toilet from Tiny Living, and then the sink, I believe I used from Growing Together. So now we have finally moved on to the bedroom, and this one it's quite a big bedroom, but it's very fitting because you have to sleep at least 2 Sims in here. I actually decided to give them both double beds since we have the space for them. But right now I'm working on the closet, and of course I use the modular closet things from Dream Home Decorator, and I decided to put mirrors behind them. I thought that's like a thing I've been really into recently, just like putting mirrors behind like modular closets. I don't know what it's about. You'll see, I try to use the tool mod to like bring them up forward so like the mirror wasn't behind like all of the like shelving that I use, but it wasn't working for some reason. Like I tried to move them forward and they would just disappear, so that was kind of annoying, but I hope you don't mind it too much. And here I am now trying to figure out what type of beds I want to use, and it was a little bit of a struggle to find like 2 beds that were kind of, you know, the same vibe, but I didn't want to use the same bed twice because that's kind of boring. But and here I was like trying to figure out, like I was thinking about using like single beds, but then I didn't really like how they looked. So I decided to use 2 double beds, and I think the ones that I decided to use were this pastel pop kit one, and then this other one from High School Years, I believe. And it's not like their vibes aren't like completely the same, I guess. Like obviously the one on the right is a lot more boho inspired, and you know, I still think it looks cute anyway. You know, it fits. I think it would fit the Sims pretty well, at least for what I imagined. But you know, feel free to change anything you would like to if you do decide to download this build. I won't feel offended at all, but please just don't, you know, try to like write it off as your own, I guess. Like even like if you change things like the furnishings, I guess, like that's fine, but you know, don't like the apartment, I guess, is still mine, I guess. So try to give me credit where it's due. Like I won't be like mad if you know, change things, but I will be a little unhappy if you like try to sell it off as your own build. But anyways, I am adding this desk here that we got from High School Years as well, and I think this is no, it's not the principal's desk, that's a different desk, but this one is like a little bit more I don't really know what type of style this is actually. I think it's like a little bit more like modern, I suppose. Like that's the only thing I can think of. But I thought it was really cute. I really like the shelf or like little like thing on the side, like end table. And I put a little lamp up there that is also from High School Years. And then I'm doing like a little bit of decoration. I think the like decoration I use right above is from the Maximalist kit. I forget exactly what it's called, but Decor to the Max kit. That's what it's called. I really liked how that looked. It's very vibrant, very colorful, so I decided to use that. Here I am back in the kitchen adding some cutting boards because I realized I forgot and I really wanted to add some. And then I am leaning them up against the wall because I just love that little extra detail whenever I'm using these cutting boards. I don't do it all the time, but sometimes I think it adds like a little bit of extra realism to the build, so I decided to do that here. And then I'm like adjusting them ever so slightly using the tool mod, and then of course raising them up so that they're not, you know, clipping into our island, I guess. But now we're back in the the bedroom, and you know, I'm trying to figure out what exactly I want to place on these walls. But I knew like before even decorating this that I really wanted to use these like hanging lights with pictures on them, and I think I'm trying to find them right now. They were a little bit difficult for me to find because I couldn't remember exactly which pack they came from, but they do come with the kids room stuff pack actually. And yeah, I thought that was really nice. I feel like, you know, these girls probably collect a lot of pictures of their friends and they definitely want to display them. But I am trying to find some clutter right now to make sure this place is really nice and cluttered up, because if you have seen any of my previous builds, you definitely know how I feel about cluttering up my builds, and it's that I like to do it all the time. I don't know. Cluttering up builds just, it's I don't know, so realistic to me, adds that extra little touch of, you know, I don't want to say realism because I feel like I've said that so many times before, but I don't know, it is realistic. So yeah, that extra touch of realism, adding this little like open notebook on the desk, and putting a bunch of clutter in those little cube organizers. Now I'm trying to figure out how to clutter up these nightstands because I added a lot of clutter in the cube organizers already, and I wasn't really sure what to put on them. Oh, and of course I'm adding clutter on the floor because, I feel like these girls are very busy with their schoolwork, so they probably don't have as much time as they would like to clean their room, but I don't clutter it up, like, ridiculously. It's just this closet space, pretty much. They have a lot of clothes and books and book bags, stuff like that, but I thought that was a really nice touch. And then I'm cluttering up this desk just a little bit more, adding some more items. One thing I did want to disclaim is that I did not playtest this build. I'm probably not going to playtest any of these apartments just because I'm a little bit lazy. I really want to get this apartment done and move on to the next thing. So I probably won't be playtesting any of these, but you might need to delete a few things here and there. I don't think the clutter on the floor near the closet should be a problem. I think your Sims can just walk over them, but if it is a problem, you'll probably just have to delete those, or just move them elsewhere. But I don't think it should be. I think the Sims team made it so that your Sims can walk over them, but not 100% sure because it didn't playtest. But anyways, I added a little video game console under the TV in the living room, and then I'm back in the bedroom just trying to clutter up these nightstands just a little bit more to make it, a little bit more messy, I suppose. But yeah, I didn't really go in too deep about the lore of the Sims who would be living here, other than, one of them is really into sports and the other is really into music. But I'm thinking, one of them is probably on a sports scholarship, and the other is probably, in school to be a singer or a songwriter. Although I don't think we have a songwriter career in The Sims 4, which is a little bit unfortunate because songwriters are very important in the music industry, I believe. But anyways, I'm just adding a little bit more clutter in this bedroom before we finally move on into the last room of this build, or I don't even know if it's considered a room, but it's the balcony. And I didn't do too much out here. I wanted to make it usable and still have things for your Sims to do out here, which is a little bit hard because it's a small space. And unlike the last build that I did where they were an artist and I already knew exactly how I wanted that to look, this one was a little bit more of a difficult thing to figure out because I pretty much added everything that they needed inside, but I still put a few things out here. I put a couple planter boxes, this nice little seat that we got from Horse Ranch, I believe, and then I did unfortunately use one item from the My First Pet stuff pack, because I just really like how the table looked. It's very glass, or it's all glass pretty much. And I just really thought it was a nice outdoor table, and I put a little drink tray on top of there. But anyways, guys, we are reaching the end of this build, so I want to say thank you all very much for watching. The next apartment renovations should be for a cat lady, so keep an eye out for that. I think after adding this drink tray, though, I do go back inside and clutter up these the top of these closet. Yes, here I'm doing that now, and I just had a few things, some blankets or boxes. I think I had a couple of books and some craft supplies, and just a little bit more clutter because I always forget about that. I did the same thing in my last speed build or the last apartment, where I just forgot to clutter up the top of the closet space. But anyways, as usual, this build will be available on the gallery under my gallery ID JaykenYT, which is spelled JaykenYT. So feel free to download it there if you guys are interested in getting this build for yourself. Although I did have to split it up into 2 rooms, the main apartment and then the balcony space. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so very much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next speed build, which should be apartment renovation. But anyways, bye-bye.